Hi Karuna.
Hi Rahul.
Karuna, did you notice that UPSC has released the cutoff list?
Yes.
So I was analyzing the trend. So from 2016, the UPSC cutoff has been decreasing. So what is your take on this decreasing cutoff?
I mean, I agree. It was a shocker. First of all, the cutoff is inching towards 90 and there's a gap of 10-15 marks. I think generally students take it that since the seats are decreasing over the time, that may be one of the reasons that papers are getting tough and the cutoffs are changing. But I think it is not just that. There's a change in the pattern of CSAT paper and GS, and within CSAT, I think arithmetic is changing the game altogether. What do you say?
Yes, I do agree with you that earlier, if you analyze, the arithmetic questions were very easy.
Yes.
As in, you put the options in the question and directly you come to a conclusion. But nowadays, what they are emphasizing on the basic formulas. So you need to have that basic formula in line to come to a conclusion. Not that you cannot apply the earlier trick, but nowadays that question is taking a lot of time to cover. So that is one thing you need to focus on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but I would say, Rahul, you have to understand you cannot take it for granted. You have to do a little practice.
Yes.
Basic formulas are being asked. So you can, our suggestion would be a solution we need to provide is you can pick up few themes, do basic formula study, do practice. You do not need to spend a lot of days and I think you'll be through.
Yes.
What about the comprehensions? They are coming so long. Like the comprehensions are going way above than what they used to be. What do you say?
So on the analysis, we find that the comprehensions are very lengthy.
Very.
One thing. And even in the length part, earlier they used to ask multiple questions in one comprehension. Now, only a single question. In that too, the subjectivity of that question to come to a conclusion is way long. Because the two options in that are very close to each other. So it is difficult to arrive at a certain conclusion. So what should we do is choose certain topics of the comprehension which are more related to your GS part and which has more of a objectivity in it, so that you can arrive at the conclusion very easily. So
I
this
think,
is one thing you
even,
can do.
Even the biotech question which we were going through, the other day.
Yes. And I guess regarding logical reasoning, what do you want to say?
Yes, of course. See, the word is logical reasoning, so it has to go by logic. But again, according to me, logical reasoning should not be just left for the examination day. You should agree.
Yes.
I mean, there are few areas, for example, blood relations, seating around the table. These questions are not tough, but if you've not practiced, they will take a lot of time and then eventually you leave it. The ROI of time invested during exam then will become very low.
Yes.
Yes. So pick up your themes.
Also, we have a video on YouTube available which shows how to deal with the CSAT preparation in a very short period of time. So this is one thing we would advise you to go through that video. In a very short video, we have summarized everything.
Yes. You can surely check that out. Now coming to the main game, which is General Studies Paper 1, which is basically the one which tells you whether you're in or out. That also has undergone a lot of change. What would you say? What are the changes you observe?
Yes, earlier, if you analyze the questions, earlier the questions were directly, as in mostly related to the current section of what is happening around. But nowadays they are asking, though it is current related, but they are asking the basic elements of that. So basically it is about the core part of that subject. So this is one thing aspirants needs to be very sure about, that you need to study the core elements in depth. And second is regarding the subjectivity of the question.
This even I find very difficult when I go through these questions.
Yes. Yeah. For example, when you take certain polity questions, you find that is more related to subjectivity of that particular topic. So how to brush up in this short period of time is learn the topic which the question is talking about. For example, if it is talking about the polity section, do go into all the topics of polity while going to the answer, that what it is related to. So this is one thing that, and you have to read between the lines when you read the questions. This is one thing. And what are the different things that you find?
Alright, so before coming to my point of view, from your analysis I got to learn two things. Is you have to go back to your basics, right?
Very correct.
Yes. So you need to read your NCERT as well. See, now you have very limited time. Again, we would suggest just go through a revision from your NCERTs and your notes. Do not pick up anything new, and especially when you pick up subjects which are more on the lines of what is the principle, etc. Go to that basically.
Right.
Now coming to my observation is the lengthy questions are there.
Yes, I was coming to that because aspirants normally find it very lengthy to read the questions, and there is some kind of a panic that arises in their minds.
I think first of all I would say there's nothing to be panicked about when you see a lengthy question. There was this question in 2020 on carbon nanotubes.
Okay.
3, 4, 5 statements, and then within the options it is 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know how confusing they get. Your first impression of that question would be it is taking half a page, it is going to be a tough question. Believe me, it was one of the easiest questions of science and technology in the prelims of 2020. Whenever there is a lengthy question, always keep it in mind the options are going to be easy and the elimination technique will work here. Right? Now coming to the ambiguity.
Yes.
See, lengthy at least has options which are clear about it. What about ambiguity? Especially if you remember that question, Constitution, the guardian of the Constitution, right?
Yes.
So, what would you say about the ambiguity part?
I think first thing is to be very clear that you have to read the questions very carefully. This is even one time you are reading, read the question second time so that you underline what is the focus of that question on which it is asking. Yes, this is something you need to take very care about.
So what you're saying is that thing we say when we read it again and again, somewhere we get an idea, now this is sounding correct.
Yes.
That might work here.
And also you need to be very assured that earlier we did not think about the number of attempts what we are about to give, right? So I think there should be some kind of limitations on the number of attempts that you give in the examination. I
don't want to say that I differ here, but I want to be very clear to the students about this whole, air about attempting certain number of questions. There are two schools of thoughts now in the UPSC market. One is they say that, you have to attempt at least 85 to 90 questions, otherwise you're out. Others say that only attempt the questions where you're 100% sure. See, you cannot do both. Reason being, if you're attempting more than 90 questions, you have a very strong chance of doing negatives. We have seen a lot of students who got negatives and therefore they were out. It is not that their preparation was any less. You would agree to that, right?
So what is your take? That what is the rational number of attempts that you should provide in the question?
Agreed. If you go by sure shot, you will not go beyond 40-45. If you go by 90, again, it is a very big gamble. So keep a rational number, that is your sure shot question plus your informed guesses, in which you have some slight thought. You have to be sure about the accuracy of the answers. Right? So that is my shade. Rationalize your number of attempts.
Right.
Do not follow the crowd.
Okay. So basically, to sum up everything, in CSAT, do not fear. Practice in this last few days. Go through our videos on YouTube, which is decoding how CSAT. Second thing, I will in GS read the basics. Read between the lines. And anything you want to share?
No, nothing. Just stay very focused, stay calm, stay hydrated. And we have a lot of videos on elimination techniques. Even Rahul, you have given videos on tricks. If you have time, if you want, you can check those out also. And all the very best for your exam.
Yes.
Thank you so much.